In today's video, we're going to be talking all about streaming services aimed at DJs. Who are the key players in the market? What kind of costs are you going to be incurring if you decide to sign up to a streaming service? And is this the way forward for DJs in terms of getting your music opposed to traditional methods of downloading tracks and getting your music that way? Let's get straight into it. So streaming services are definitely on the increase for DJs, and if you haven't come across these before, think of the likes of Apple Music and Spotify, but platforms specifically designed for DJs, enabling you to stream music at your DJ gigs. The difference being that rather than downloading the individual track files onto your laptop or your computer or USB stick, you are streaming the track over the internet. So it means that you don't physically own each copy of the track that you download. And to be honest, it's something that I've actually never considered before up until this point, but they seem to be certainly making headway with these streaming platforms, so maybe for this year it's something that I'm going to consider. The likes of Rekordbox and Serato DJ software also support integration of select streaming platforms as well, which is a pretty positive move, so it's safe to say that streaming is here to stay. Now let's talk about some of the options that are out there if you want to become a streaming DJ. Now, I'm just going to cover off some of them in this video. There are probably others out there, and as we go through the 2020s, I'm sure that there are going to be more and more streaming services added specifically designed for DJs, because this does seem to be the way in which we're headed in terms of music consumption. Now, I personally am not a fan of that because I love collecting music right back from when I used to buy vinyls and CDs, and I like downloading music, so I like my own copies. But this does seem to be the way we're heading anyway, and I'll leave my opinions there and leave you to decide if you like streaming or not. Now, the first platform to talk about for DJs is BeatSource. Now, this is a very well-established streaming platform for DJs, and they certainly know what they are doing when it comes to providing a streaming service for DJs, because it's run in parallel with DJ City. And as you probably know, DJ City are a very well-regarded record pool, been going for a number of years, and that is still available if you want to download music. You can still subscribe, it's still updated on a regular basis. In terms of pricing then, a subscription to BeatSource will set you back $9.99 per month for the basic package. That gives you access to over 7 million tracks, which is absolutely massive, and that also includes the integration into your DJ software as well. Now, it's important to note that BeatSource does have a premium subscription as well, and that will set you back an eye-watering $34.99 a month. Now, in my opinion, that's a very high price because you're never actually going to own the music. You are just using it for streaming. Now, in terms of what you get extra for $34.99 per month, you get access to all of the DJ edits. So intro versions, outro versions, transition tools, mashups, clean versions, dirty versions. So it's a lot more DJ friendly. And you also get access to an offline storage locker. So if the club or venue that you are playing in does not have the internet, you can store up to 1,000 tracks offline. And that is a key piece of information that we're going to talk about in a bit more detail later on. The next streaming platform to talk about is Beatport. Now, this is not to be confused with Beatport, the online record store, which still exists. You can still go onto Beatport and you can download individual tracks, as I have been doing for years, but they now also offer a streaming service as well. Now, they have 3 different price tiers, starting off at a very affordable £9.99 a month here in the UK. If you're a DJ, I think you could pretty much rule out this price plan because it doesn't provide any kind of integration with DJing software. It's, I think, really designed if you are just a listener of music. Moving up to their mid-tier package, it costs £14.99 per month. And this is the basic option really if you are a DJ, because this is what's going to provide you with the integration with your DJing software. Apart from that, it's pretty much the same as the basic tier. Finally then, we have got Beatport's premium subscription service, which is £29.99 a month here in the UK. I think that must be about $33 to $35 US. And in addition to the middle tier, you get access to that offline storage locker, which is exactly the same as BeatSource in that it provides access to 1,000 tracks offline. So I think it's pretty expensive again, considering you don't get to own any of the tracks. I do find that quite a strange concept, but yes, £29.99 if you want the privilege of playing music offline. One of the key considerations before you would subscribe to something like Beatport specifically versus BeatSource is the fact that Beatport is electronic music only. It's very much geared towards dance and electronic music. So do consider that before you buy into a subscription with Beatport versus something like BeatSource, which yes, it might be $5 more a month, but it is more open format. So if you're playing in commercial high street venues and you want to stream your music, then something like BeatSource is probably going to be more suitable for you because you've got access to a wider range of music. And they even have curated playlists for you in BeatSource as well. A couple more services then to talk about, and the next one is Tidal. Now, Tidal is not specifically designed with just DJs in mind. It is appealing to the mass market out there, much like a Spotify or an Apple Music. However, it does have integration with the likes of Rekordbox and Serato, so many DJs are using it. It is much more affordable than BeatSource and Beatport, with the basic package coming in at £9.99 a month. Now, the great thing about Tidal is that it offers unlimited playback at that price point offline, so you're not going to have any issues if the club or bar or wherever venue you're working in doesn't have a good internet connection. And you also get access to over 90 million tracks as well, so that's really good. Now, Tidal also offer a more premium subscription as well, and that comes in at £19.99. However, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of difference between this and the basic option, apart from enhanced audio and also as well direct support to the artists that you support the most. So they actually pay out a little bit more to the artists. But Tidal seems to be an affordable option. One thing to note with Tidal though, however, it may not have DJ friendly versions of tracks, so intros, outros, clean, dirty versions, all of that. It might only have the radio edit, so something to bear in mind there, but definitely a worthwhile option to consider. Final platform to talk about today then is SoundCloud. Now, SoundCloud is a very well-known platform used by many DJs to upload mixes, even though you probably shouldn't because you might get copyright warnings. Mashups are uploaded onto there, and also as well original content. Now, they have two tiers in terms of pricing. One costs £5.99 a month here in the UK, which is not usable for DJs, so you have to go with their more premium option, which is SoundCloud Go Plus, and that is a very affordable £9.99 a month. And just like the other platforms we've talked about today, it integrates with Rekordbox and it integrates with Serato, which is great. And much like Tidal, it offers unlimited offline playback, which is really, really key. Now, when it comes to SoundCloud, as much as I like the platform, I would say that this is probably the least viable option when it comes to using it for DJing with. And that is because it's very much reliant on user-generated content. It's not like a managed service like Beatport or BeatSource. You are very much reliant on what the users are uploading onto the site. And if you look at the big artists, they're certainly not putting every single release onto the platform. So just something to bear in mind when it comes to SoundCloud if you want to buy into it. But nevertheless, it is a pretty good price and offers some quite cool features. Thinking a little bit about the benefits and the drawbacks of using a streaming service as a DJ, one of the key benefits has got to be storage size. Gone are the days if you're just using a streaming service of buying a laptop with 1 or 2 terabytes worth of storage, which can add significant amounts of cost, especially if you're buying a Mac, onto your laptop bill. And thinking about my own collection, half the tracks that I've got and I've stored on my laptop, I don't even use. So actually it can be a massive space saver and be pretty cost effective in that way. So there clearly are some benefits to streaming services, that's without question, but what are the drawbacks? And the one that really hits me in the face all the time is the reliance on an internet connection. In my opinion, you have to have the subscription with the offline playback, because there are venues that I work in that don't have Wi-Fi. There are venues that I work in that have really poor mobile internet as well. And as soon as I've got customers, I don't have access to the internet. So I'm going to have access to an offline locker. I think as well, another drawback is, and this is a bit of a sadness really, is that I am a record collector at heart. I love collecting vinyl. I like buying CDs. I like downloading music. And there was something personal about having your own record collection. And with a streaming service, it's not your record collection. You don't own the music. You're renting it effectively from that company. And yes, you can have unlimited playbacks of a track and you can always be up to date and all the rest of it, but you will never own that music. So it's not really your record collection, in my opinion. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. Nevertheless, if you do have an existing record collection, the offline locker could almost be used as a bit of a top up to only enhance your record collection a little bit further. But now over to you. What are your thoughts on streaming services? I'm genuinely intrigued to know, have we got any streaming DJs watching this and think they're the best thing ever? Or do we have people that have used them and think they're absolutely useless? Let me know down in the comments down below. And if you're not quite ready to make the leap over to a streaming service just yet, then check out that record pool review up there, because it could be a good option for you. And I will see you in the next video.